Hey guys, thank you so much for watching my last video, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you can. This video, we're going to Gran Canaria and we're going to meet head coach and owner of CrossFit KZ, James Fender, and he's going to be telling us all what's happening in Spain in terms of the precautions that they're taking up, and if he feels it's going to be worth it opening up his gym if they can only go to 50%. So have a listen, like the video and share. Thank you. Who do we have here and what gym do you own?
Hola, soy James. Hello, I'm James. My gym is CrossFit KZ in Las Palmas, Gran Canaria.
Great, James. Thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of people are going to be interested to hear what's kind of happening in Spain, even if it's just the Canary Islands and stuff like that. Obviously, popular tourist spot as well. So probably people want you to open up as soon as possible. So, James, what's going on with CrossFit KZ? When did you guys close down? And I suppose, how did you go about it?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I was actually, I still am in Wales. So I got sort of stranded here because I was meant to be going back when all this started kicking off. And then I took the decision, just in case I got stranded out in Spain and stay here with my family. So I've had to shift everything over basically to my business partner. And the shutdown was like basically you're not allowed to open. So there's no real forewarning. It was quite a hard line from the government saying it was literally 2 days, gyms aren't open. And we just took the decision, don't wait for 2 days, that would shut down from the next opportunity, which was the next day.
Okay, yeah. So like the government just kind of get straight up. And like, did you feel before, like, let's say the government kind of made the announcement, did you feel any kind of like pressure from your members or anything like that to kind of close because of the situation, or like was everyone kind of supportive to kind of stay open?
Yeah, no, they were like, no, they were health conscious themselves, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So difference in culture. I think in Spain is a lot like Italy, where a lot of the people still live with their parents or their grandparents. So obviously the transmission of the disease, if that's how it's transmitted, is obviously a lot easier in that sort of environment than it is, say, in Ireland or in Wales, where like 18, 19, we're gone, we leave the house and generally don't come back.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So yeah, they're definitely health conscious, definitely, okay. And then I suppose, right, so let's say you've closed down, the gym's kind of just shut really quickly. So how did you react to that, like in terms of what are you offering members in terms of like training or programs? Like what kind of did you go about?
So my partner straight away started doing, obviously during the middle of the month when people are paid for the full month. So we were a bit conscious not to obviously rub anyone the wrong way, especially that first 2 weeks, which was obviously paid for. So we went straight away with some online classes just twice a day, where the coaches are actually doing the class with the members, because there wasn't that many per class, and then we're just putting the video up on YouTube, because at that time people were still working where they could.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And how do you feel like the members itself, like, because Spain in terms of the restrictions very different than, let's say, Ireland and the UK. So they were told stay indoors, not allowed to leave, so they're inside the four walls. What was the kind of feedback from the members in terms of like how are they feeling being locked up and like training at home? Do they find it hard to adapt?
Yeah, I mean, like I was well in Wales. That's why I went through the process, obviously here in Wales with the CrossFit gym I train at here as well. And they were able to sort of give material away.
Yeah.
They had that sort of opportunity to give people dumbbells, kettlebells, but with us it was like, opening up. So people, using like whatever they can in the house, tins of beans, backpacks, like water bottles for kettlebell swings. So putting myself in that position, it would be hard to get motivated. But I guess if you don't, I mean, you're going to go crazy being stuck inside.
Yeah.
Not doing anything. So
it's definitely hard, but there's still, like, most people are, like, from your members, they're mostly still training at home and following the program and stuff.
The first 2 weeks, I think a majority of them was probably hoping for a quick turnaround, didn't really know what was going on, so maybe they didn't bother much. But then that first month, we kept probably about 80% of the members. and the Zoom classes were pretty full, and then we started up a new WhatsApp group, so people who had paid for the next month then had a bit of value added by not having the general WhatsApp group we've got. So there's a lot of chatting there. I think, like I said, being stuck inside, they needed some sort of escape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And you've got your business town, Tobin, and then like your other staff, the guys there. How are they? I suppose the coaches like reacting to, I suppose like probably loss of income, having to do the live classes from home. Like, how are they getting on? Are they still doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, so he obviously loves training, so I think he's happy having some time off to train as much as you can, even though it's with a bottle of water and some baked beans. But out there as well, the government have like guaranteed 80%, similar to the UK, 80% of the wages to all the employed people. So loss of wages isn't going to be that much, as long as we can, obviously in another month, 2 months, we can get open again.
Okay, cool. All right. That's good to hear. Nice. So everyone's still doing okay, obviously, from CrossFit KZ.
Yeah.
So let's say we, Ireland and the UK, Ireland definitely has like released a 5-phase plan. I was kind of saying to you before we went on the call, it's looking like the 10th of August here before a gym can open up, and that's at like 50% capacity. So that's what we've got so far. Is there anything from the Spanish government yet in terms of when gyms can open up itself?
Yeah, but that's like changing as well. So they've got, like, again, the phases. So the first phase has been people couldn't go outside for the first time, but like literally the first weekend people were allowed out, they were straight on the beaches, taking the piss, and there's another message from the government: please take it seriously, otherwise we're going to retract what we've just given you. And that's phased out, I think, every 3 or 4 weeks, that they're going to be releasing a lot like the UK.
Yeah, okay. So easing down over the 3 weeks. You're pretty much looking at the same as us, like, but like any thoughts on yourself in terms of how you're going to approach opening up again? Because we kind of mentioned before the call, you yourself kind of have a different opinion on opening up, because if you only get to open up to, let's say, 30 or 50% of your capacity, it mightn't be worth your while.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, obviously got to do some number crunching out there. The Spanish government have sort of put in an agreement that you only have to pay half the rent as long as you don't open. So I'm not sure how long that would go on for. But if one day we decide to open, and we have to pay full rent, and we can't fill the space then with X amount of numbers, plus then bringing the coaches back off redundancy, there's a lot of repercussions where, really have to be careful that you don't shoot yourself in the foot by opening too early. And obviously the measures as well. I've seen some things in America, like disinfectant after every class. That's how many classes can you put on a day?
Yeah.
And it's like, you're putting your trust in maybe the coach, who's probably not that bothered to do it properly. And if something does happen, then like obviously it's gonna be a big problem.
Yeah, big repercussions. Like, I think that's a very honest opinion. Like, because like a lot of gym owners are saying, "Oh, we'll just open up straight back away," and they mightn't be thinking about it. But it is definitely very honest in terms of like having to do the number crunches and stuff like that, especially if a lot of people are still being covered on wages and stuff like that. So as a business, it kind of makes sense to go through that. And then, like, you've been heavily involved in, fitness in terms of Spain now over the last couple of years since you moved over. And like, obviously you've got your own nutrition business as well. So F-Plan Nutrition, big shout out.
Thanks, bro.
Like, what's your thoughts now, like, on how you think Spain's fitness industry is going to go over the next couple of months? Do you think like people will be scared to go into your gym, or do you think they're all going to come rushing back? And do you think, like, let's say we trained together before in one of those Globo gyms close to your house, and that's obviously very compact and it's very hard to keep social distancing. Do you think that you might be able to take something from them, or what's your kind of thoughts?
Oof. I don't know. I mean, the culture is different, and like I said, if people believe that it is like serious as it is at the moment, that you can transmit it quite easily, you don't know if you've got it, there's no tests, then maybe people will be reluctant to come back to the gym. But on the other side, of course, the people are sort of quite diehard. So they may be willing to run the risk. Like, you can only go for the chat in the group. They look, it's about people going crazy and want to come back to the gym. But then that percentage of members is probably the more athletic percentage, and not the probably majority of the members who are the older people with jobs, things like that. So I don't know. I couldn't.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because one of the guys here in Ireland said he ran a poll if he was to open up whatever next week and say, would you be willing to come back? And only about 50% of people said they'd be willing to come back, because they still wouldn't be comfortable in terms of regardless of the procedure. So I think everyone's kind of really tentative of it. And last one before we finish, because I'm quite interested in this one as well, as I mentioned there before. So you run your own nutrition business as well. So you work with an awful lot of people, whether in Spain or back home. How are people reacting in terms of accountability? Like, do people want your services more, or are people like just saying, fuck this, I'll just eat whatever I want and I'll get back to it?
Yeah, like the clients I did have were a little bit like, oh, fuck this, I can't follow the program. Obviously when you're stuck in the house, there's a lot more snacks available, and especially not getting those endomorphins from training. It's just a vicious circle. I mean, self-discipline is the biggest thing, isn't it? I think people were like, fuck it, I'll get in touch with you when we're back open, or at least we can go outside. So yeah, there is people coming back on board now. I've had about 5 messages this week saying, oh, can we get back on it? So yeah, I mean, nutrition is a difficult one, because it's usually the heavier people who want the nutrition, and they're the ones with the biggest problems. So
yeah, that's definitely interesting to hear. So guys, if you're listening to this, obviously, and you've got this far, CrossFit KZ is in Las Palmas, Gran Canaria, up the north of the island. There we are. So guys, check it out if you're traveling. Thank you, James, for doing the call. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.